Pellets dawn could not sedate the hunger within, the fire untamed. From first command, the world was great. Scarlet scales, the water screams, red Gyarados, the end of dreams. Through raging waves, destruction flows, a tide of blood, no rival knows. Blood is burning to my skin. Every loss, every death, my sin. Scarlet Leviathan, unleash the flood. Crush the earth, ignite with blood. Across the regions, all will kneel. The crown of legends, mine to steal. Jolt who quakes as towers fall. Signals miss, can heed the call. On over darkened gallows blades, and Lola breaks on shattered turns. Spell dampers, no god remains. Even Arceus weeps in chains. From Kanto's dawn to Galar skies, the endless war, no compromise. Pokeballs shatter and trails rain. Gyms collapse beneath the slain. Elite force crumble, champs sprawl. Every corpse builds my throne. Scarlet Leviathan, unleash the flood. Crush the earth, ignite with blood. Across the regions, all will kneel. The crown of legends, mine to steal. Against the gods, I chain their breath. No escape, no peace, just death. A master eternal, cursed and divine, all-known beast, forever mine. Crimson toss, the ocean split. Wings of terror, world submit. No sanctuary, none defend. Scarlet Leviathan, the end. All are fallen, all are mine. Every creature, every soul caught in chains of crimson tide. The champion eternal. Forever crowned in red.
It did the thing it wasn't supposed to do. Anyways. Maybe I should make that my primary camera. That would make more sense. Anyways. Actually, yeah, I'm supposed to be small in that one. How is everyone? Thank you for tuning in. Just saying, hey, everybody in Kick that's a fucking buck and go off themselves, I guess. I don't fucking know what else to say about that. Besides that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This week's a big week. It's Sunday. What is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. About 3 nights before ZA launches. We're going to be playing that. The night it launches at 12 o'clock. My time. And we'll be going through it. Right now, I'm looking for a Shiny Magikarp to have for a playthrough of ZA. If you don't know, that is my favorite Pokemon. So far, I haven't caught any. Seen other shinies. Caught other shinies. We'll get there. We'll get there. Which one's the shiny one? The male or the female? The male. So let's have a picnic. There's not enough space. What the hell? I guess not, because a lot of my Pokemon are pretty large. Keep catching shiny Hoppers, which is hilarious to me. Anyways, I try with like fucking stupid dragon guy for some reason. Probably because you can't let him go of his Pokeball if you're riding him. Yeah, but this week's gonna be pretty hype. I already know this recipe, and the reason I know this recipe is because I've been putting it in a lot recently. I'm gonna go pick up Pick soon. See, the problem with Pokemon, I'm not super excited about this game. I wish I was. Like, obviously, I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna give it a chance. I gave every Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, all the other ones I gave a chance to. Pokemon Snap, obviously. For the 64 and for the Switch. I should probably do an actual playthrough of that. Not the new one yet. I haven't played that one. So, I will one day. Not same with the Mystery Dungeon. Not on my top list of things to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But you know how it is. Once you get enough stuff going on in life, you're not really focused on video games too much. I wish I could be more focused on video games. It's gonna fuck up. Watch. Told you. Do it again. Told you. Anyways, this seems to be a tad bit bigger. Let's go to like. Sorry, I started a new thing for solo stream, so I don't have to change everything all the fucking time. I'm trying to get it to where, you know, I just come in and just do the thing. And get going. But we'll see what happens from there on. Why is my game so low? I mean, I know it's normally low, but it's not that far. Did I not change the... No, it's a 10. Oh, maybe something happened with, Oh, I see why. It's because my whole overall system volume's down. My bad. Didn't even realize that. Alright. Still nothing as cool has come in. It'd be cool if there was like a Magikarp thing like right around this area. But there isn't. I guarantee there's not even one. So if you don't know, Gyarados is my favorite Pokemon. I want a shiny to take him to transfer it into ZA. Because from what I'm hearing is you're going to be able to at least, I don't know about day one, but really shortly after it comes out, you're going to be at least be able to, you know. Transfer Pokemon into the game. I don't know about out of the game or what the deal is, but we'll see. That's what I've heard. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not saying it isn't. What I've heard. What I've heard and what actually happens are two different things. You've got to understand. So, I did get a shiny one through a trade the other day, so I have one on backup, but I do want to hunt for this one. I know it seems like a waste of time. I could be going back to Skyrim, but the reality is, between playing with Dustin on his days off and being busy with real life stuff and stuff like that, Skyrim is going to have to be put on the back burner for a little bit, especially since this game's coming out Thursday morning at 12 o'clock at night. Alright? So... And I'll be doing that, and I'll be streaming that whole weekend. I'll be taking a short break on Thursday night or evening, afternoon, I need to take a nap and then go pick up my son. Because I do have him on Thursday, but he's got homecoming dance this weekend, and his mom wanted to do that, so I was like, alright, I can go with that. So he'll be doing that this weekend while I hang out at home and do whatever. I mean, obviously I won't be playing the whole weekend. I do need to sleep. I do need to eat. I do need to go outside because I have that problem. I have to be outside sometimes. I just have to go outside. I'll probably go for, you know, like a hike, a short hike or something. Things like that. Skateboard a little bit. But I'll be on a lot. How much, I don't know. But it'll be more than normal. Especially for weekends. Because usually, man, it sucks. But I don't really have the time to stream on weekends. And when I do, I'm already dead ass tired. So it's just like, fuck, dude. Today's a little bit different. That's, I just need to make it a goal to stream all the time, even if I am tired. I gotta figure that out. Where I can be tired, but not be just like, ugh. You guys have seen it. You know? Where I'm just not saying anything or doing anything, really. It's a weasel. Give me 1 second. My dog wants to leave the room. He wants to leave the room. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be playing for a little bit. Not doing too much. Just searching for that shiny Magikarp. And there's a reason why I'm saying around here. One, they spawn a lot around here. Two, they're low level. I want something at under level 20. The lower the better. The lower the better. Because I can use it during the gameplay if it's day one. And if not, that's okay. It'll just level up real fast. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at it. Why is that wing all darker? Though it doesn't have green on it. Or cloud or something? Must be clouds. No, they do have that kind of lighting in this game. I just want Magikarp though. The only thing that sucks is I won't be playing it on the Switch too, which I was kind of hoping to do when they announced it, but then I realized that I don't really have the money to be spending on that right now. So, not in like the bad way. It's more of the, do I need it? No. For the things that are coming out in the future for right now? No. Will I need it? Yes. Eventually. Plus, I wouldn't mind playing Scarlet and Violet on the Switch, too. And I know I gotta transfer all the data, but it's not gonna be fun, bro. Didn't mean to ruin that fucking thing. But yeah, I just want to enjoy this, playing Pokemon, and eventually I'll get back on the grind of everything else. But, doing a lot requires a lot of energy, time, and focus. And even today, man, I have a splitting headache from allergies. I have a sinus headache right now. As much as I try to clear them out today, I've eaten hot, like soupy stuff. I've drank hot tea. I've done pretty much everything I can to have my sinuses drain and or just something. I mean, it has not been a good weekend or day to day for that. Just hasn't done. Nothing's happened. It's just hurts. But it's okay. It's not that bad. Eventually, there are days though when it is that bad. And I thought it was water at first. I was just like, maybe I'll just drink a bunch of water, and then I drank fucking half-gallon of water and realized it wasn't going away. And I'm like, oh, this is actual sinus issue. Okay. Yeah. And it's because of my allergies. I'm sure it'll be gone by tomorrow. Hopefully it won't come back because it does come in and out. But that time of year where ragweed is pollinating, and I have a severe ragweed allergy. I also have it for trees, but it's not as bad. I don't usually get sinus headaches from that. Maybe every once in a while when I'm not drinking enough water, and so my sinuses don't have the water to drain them. But that's a on me thing, not a allergy thing. Granted, it's caused by the allergies, but if I would have just drank a little bit more water, it probably would have just drained itself. This is not the case in this one, though. This is legit sinus allergy, or sinus headache. But yeah, most of the time my headaches are from, my headaches are usually sinus headaches, and my sinuses don't like hot, dry heat either. It gives me a headache, honestly. Like, car heat, ugh, I hate it. The only reason I have to use it is for other people. Like, if I can have it off, I'm turning it the fuck off. Or if there's, like, you know, fog or frost on the windshield, I'm not gonna hurt myself or others because I got a slight headache. That's what one of the truck's for. But when that shit's running, and dude, I mean, obviously it's gonna take longer than like my 10 to 20 minute drive to work, depending on traffic. Because I live real close to where I work, and it's just not. It's longer trips, probably about a half hour or so. And I don't know if it's just that my sinuses get dried out and it gets a headache, or what the deal is. It's just what it feels like, because like I feel stuffy. Like right now, I feel this is normal for ragweed, but I have had the feeling where I feel stuffy in this sinus specifically. Like you can just feel it. Like I don't know how to explain it besides that. If you understand what I'm talking about, you get it. It sucks. It'll go away though. Probably after I take a shower or something. If it doesn't, I'll actually be surprised. To be frank. You know what I'm saying? Look at these guys. They're just popping up. Are any of you gold? That would be great. I would really like a gold Magikarp since y'all popped up like crazy. Worst part is, I know, like, when I was hunting all the water Pokemon, or all the Pokemon found by water, I know I spawned in a gold Shiny Magikarp, and I just didn't see it, because it was either really far away, or I was just so, like, focused on one thing that I just ignored it, intentionally. You know what I mean? It sucks, but like I know I've passed up a Shiny Magikarp. There's no way. With how much time you spend in the water and around Magikarp, there's no way I haven't. I know it's not like mandatory as in like playing the gyms and stuff, but it is if you want water Pokemon. Or if you want to catch all the Pokemon in the Pokedex as much as and I'm gonna be doing the same thing on ZA. I'm gonna catch as many Pokemon as I can while I'm going about, but I'm not gonna focus on it. Keep my Pokemon trained up, mostly, right? And just go to town on whatever. On the training at night, I guess. I don't understand, like, we'll see. I'm not super excited. Like, I've watched a lot of videos on this. And look, I'm not saying the game's gonna be horrible. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's not gonna be what I expect from a Pokemon game in general. ZA literally got rid of a whole region, and people say they hate that region, but I don't understand why. It's probably one of the better regions of the series. I mean, I don't really like Unova, and it's based in America, so I don't really like Gen 7 for multiple reasons, but location isn't one of them, but like just the way they like structured it out and didn't give you gyms and didn't really give you gyms. Like I know there was gyms, but there was like, it was just like, oh. I mean, this game's not much better. You have a badge for everything you fight, and I think it's stupid. I think you should just go back to the gym badges. Yes, you should have side quests like Team Star and Narvin and stuff. With the Titan, or fighting the Titans and stuff. But, like, it doesn't have to be part of your gym badges. And since you're gonna want to do them, especially if they keep it the same, similar, right? Is that Golden Magikarp? I can't tell. I don't think it is. Is that? I don't think it is. Mind you, I'm colorblind, so no, it isn't. It might have just been like the whiteness showing up. Too far away, it might look pretty cool. I know I've missed a lot of shinies, both mostly unintentionally. I'm sure I've missed some intentionally when it was something a little bit more, something else happened, like a Pokemon ran into me or something. You say it's not intentional, but it kind of is, even if it's not intentional on your part. Intentional, which is intentional in the game's part. Reality. I'm not saying Pokemon go after you more when there's a shiny around. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that there's a shit ton of Pokemon, and sometimes you guys just cross paths right before a shiny. It happens. Nobody's intentionally doing it except for the Pokemon that are there. You're not doing it to stop you from getting a shiny. It's just unintentional, even in the game's part. It's part of the game, you know what I mean? It's just all these Pokemon spawn. Maybe back in the old days where it was just grass, no overworld spawns. You know? Which isn't horrible, mind you. I'm not gonna sit there and act like the grass spawns were bad. Although I do like this open world concept. I hope they keep going with it. It needs refinement. It needs to have a whole Pokedex, a whole National Dex. It needs a lot. It ain't perfect by any means. But to be honest, out of all the games that I used to like a lot, or still do, this is the only one that hasn't really changed so much to where I don't want to play it anymore. It's changed enough to piss me off. It has in some aspects, but it's not all the time, and it's not like so prevalent when you're just playing the main story of the game, things like that. And my overall goal is just to have all the Pokemon and all their different forms. That's it. If you can. Sometimes you can't. Like, for instance, the Megas, you can't have them. You can't keep them in Megas. Gigantamax, Dynamax, all that stuff. You can't keep them in those. Shaman, like the battle stuff where you change in battle. Be it Shaman or someone else. I don't know what Pokemon, Cherum, stuff like that. There's Pokemon that do that. Who change in battle because Sunlight came out, or just differences in battle when you do something. Then you got which you can't keep with that, but and then you got things like the Origin guys or Calyrex riding the horses, the different versions of Calyrex. Can't really have them either unless you're playing the game and you have the thing that makes it available. Also, I don't think Calyrex was intended to stay. The Calyrex forms were intended to stay. I think it was just for the plot of the story. Honestly. And the story actually wasn't that bad. It was better than the fucking Team Star. I can't stand the Team Star story. It's the worst. And that's the problem with this game. Everybody's like, but Arven's story was good. I'm like, it was okay. It's not something we haven't seen before. I'm not saying it has to be completely different or change all the time, but this whole, I don't even really like the fact that your rivals are friendly with, or not friendly per se, but aren't shitheads towards you anymore. They're really not. And it's kind of annoying. And I get Pokemon probably did that for some unknown fucking reason that I don't care about. But, I haven't liked that, and that's been around for a long time. Right? That's been around since, I don't even know when. Honestly, I don't even remember when that started. Was it Gen 6? Although, I don't think Iris was... Was it... Who was your... I forget who your rival was in Gen 5, because I didn't know... I played it, but I didn't really like it, so I just... And I only played through... What? One version of the original and one version of the remake... Or the redos. Or the sequels. Black and White too. So I wasn't super into that, and I was super busy at the time. So most of my Pokemoning happened after I had a kid. In between being like a child and like a preteen. Then again, in high school, I did still play the games. It just wasn't like, you know, super. Oh no, because when did Gen 4 come out? I gotta remember the date. I don't remember the dates. I'll tell you right now what I played, because I don't remember. That might have been right after high school. 2007, yes. It was a year after I graduated. So I was like just like super busy and doing fun stuff and partying and shit. You know, going to a lot of concerts and stuff. Now that I think about it, if I would have kept playing Pokemon like I did, and like especially during Gen 1 and 2. Gen 3 I played a lot, but I played a lot over a long period of time. I didn't play it like very quickly. I played all 3 games. I don't know why, but I left my Pokedex Living Dex in Emerald. I know I had it in Blue and Red at one point, or Blue and Green, the remakes of Blue and Green at one point. But I probably transferred them back for some specific reason. That was a pain in the ass. I had to have 2 Game Boys. Or, yeah, 2 Game Boys. Well, to be fair, I had a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Advance SP. So it was a pain in the ass because the Game Boy Advance doesn't have a battery. That's really what it is. And it wasn't rechargeable. I know you can buy rechargeable batteries and stuff, but I was a kid doing my thing, not really thinking that hard about it. You know what I mean? Plus, I was skating a lot and stuff like that in high school and after high school. Like, I was home at night, but that's about it. Like, and then I started working overnight, so I was home in the morning and then, like, gone all in the afternoon, and I would just come home and sleep. Because nobody was doing anything. Unless I had something important to do. Like, you know, that had to do with, like, going to a government, like, dealing with the government or whatever, for whatever reason. Whether it be, you know, getting tags or fucking other dumb shit, license renewal, all that shit. You know, normal stuff. Normal everyday bullshit that you have to deal with. So I would also do it with, like, car maintenance and stuff. Like, I would, because it was just faster, because nobody's there, you know what I mean? You just get off of work and just go wait. Either for them to open, if they're not open at that time. Or, you know, maybe go to like the mall or something go shop, you know, maybe get your shopping done at that time so you can do your grocery shopping and stuff like that at the time. So you can, you know, wait, just kind of put it off a day or so to do so. Things like that. Just nothing of importance, really. Maybe go eat breakfast with a friend. Because, you know, I used to get off at like, what, 6:30? Most places are open at like 8. In the morning, the latest, if not earlier. You know, it'd be a good time to go get you know, on weekends, go get breakfast with friends, or even the weekdays of people who work, especially that time, you know, like evening jobs or night jobs. A lot of your friends do what they can to survive at that time frame. In your early 20s, late teen, like after high school, in your early 20s, so. You know, whether it be going to school and having a night job or having 2 jobs, whatever the fuck they did. Kind of hard to get together, right? Except for, like, you know, holidays. It still is that. It's that way when you get older, too. It's harder to keep friendships. Because, I mean, there's several different reasons. Everybody changes a bit. I don't think a lot of people change as much as they think they do. I think they have a weird perception of, I think most people, including myself, have a weird perception of themselves. Like, I just don't give a shit about a lot of things. And then I do. Like, I do care about the things that I like. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, let's be real, nothing's going to be better or change until something bad happens. So, whether it be you know, a company fails or just stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, or even just difference of opinion in certain things because people's opinions have changed or things like that. But other than that, man, it's not easy keeping a lot of your friends. It's even harder to make new friends because I'm gonna be frank with you. When I was younger, I tried to be friends with, you know, like in my late teens, early 20s. If I wasn't already friends with the people that I was working with, because, you know, we live in the same area, it makes sense. I try not to make friends at work anymore, especially after the first time I did that. I came to realize that at work there's a lot of fake friends. Obviously, most people learn this. I learned it. It's just it just gets worse as you progress in your, whether it be your career or the current job you have. And people get resentful and shit, including myself. I don't like my current job because of resent. They're gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, you spend some extra time in your life doing something for the for a company trying to figure out a problem to something that's in their, has to deal with their company. Not that that's my only job, but, you know, my position there relies, you know, all positions kind of rely on that to a point, because even you come up with problems that you have to figure out that's just work based solely on you. You know what I mean? It's not just not like necessarily a team effort thing or anything like that. It's just like, man, I wasted extra time in my life to do that. Not only off the clock, but even though I'm interested in some of this stuff. But I actually did a lot of in-depth research on stuff, and for this job, to help them. And they just completely ignored it and said no constantly. It's like, I'm not here to make an argument for what I'm saying. All right, I'm not paid to do that. Sorry. Like, if you wanted me to, like, there's so much I'll do. Like, I'll do a bunch of research on something we might need or things that we might have to implement, things like that. But I'm not here to convince you of that. Ever. Like, I'm here to tell you what's what. This is what we need. This is the best one I found. If you want me to argue for it in the sense of why you should justify money for it, then we can just keep having the same fucking problem. That's usually how my argument is. Is it a good argument? Yeah. Are they gonna listen? Probably not, to be completely fucking frank. Most companies are that way. That's why I would never work for another person anymore. Like, I'm trying to get the fuck out of there doing other stuff. But with the way the economy is right now, it isn't very helpful. I should have did it a while ago. I've been thinking about it for let's see, when was the last time I was actually okay with that job? Probably 2021. Maybe. That's a maybe, dude. That's a huge maybe. You know, and people say, you know, and people say shit like they don't know what, like, well, you gotta convince the owner. I was like, I'm gonna convince the owner shit. If he wants the problem to keep going, if he still wants this problem around, that's on him. It's not on me. That's not on you. It's not on anyone in this goddamn room besides, or anyone in this goddamn company besides him. If he doesn't want to spend the money to make the job correct and or easier, then that's not on me, dude. I can do it any way you want. I don't give a shit. If it wastes more time, that's on you. Try to help you. You don't want to listen, that's fine. Don't fucking listen. Don't expect me to be nice about it. It's pretty simple to get shit done in a company if people aren't just fucking stupid and think I have to persuade people to do something to help their own fucking company. That they don't pay me enough to do the research, but I do because I feel like I could actually bring something to a team. But obviously, in my past travels, I came to this realization a long time ago. I don't know why, I just didn't follow through with it. You're never gonna get anywhere in life if you just keep working for other people. I've come to this conclusion. Like, yeah, you can do it for a while, but at some point in life, and even people with really good jobs can do it for maybe their whole life because they're okay with the salary or whatever. But I've come to the conclusion that if what I say about something doesn't matter, then there's no fucking point in me giving a shit about this company. Because the way I've quote unquote acted over the past, say, couple years, they got pretty mad at me a couple times because I'm like, what do I care? Like, I don't care. You didn't care when I had to say something. I'm just gonna stop saying it then. Pretty simple, man. We listened to you. I was like, then why the fuck did you just not do what I tell you to do? And it's not even because I didn't implement that kind of stuff. The problem isn't that they didn't do that. The problem is they didn't do it, then hired someone else to fucking do it. Which probably for a year, which it shouldn't have taken a year, FYI. Just saying. It shouldn't have taken a year. Person was around for a year. It shouldn't have taken that long. I get he probably said, I get that he probably gave him an estimate to make the company run quicker, but it's going to take about a year to pad his pockets a little bit. Not in the sense of, to actually pad him and make him richer, but he was traveling, he, back and forth from home, and he wasn't from here, and he wasn't from even the state. He lived far away, and I get why they did it. Because he's a guy in the industry, but like, okay, but like you just wasted like a year's salary of probably something retarded, right? Like some ridiculous amount of money. I can almost guarantee you it was. Because that's usually how those kind of contracts work. And it just wasn't. And I had no problem with the guy himself. He was fine. No qualms with him whatsoever. My only qualm was the company did that instead of just listen to me. And maybe give me like, a little bit more of a raise than normal. You know what I mean? In the years that I did do something like that, I probably would have implemented it 50,000 times faster. Like, it's not rocket science, dude. None of this stuff is rocket science, but they make it sound like it's rocket science. Like, it's hard. I don't care if it's hard, dude. Like, that's another thing. A lot of the thing is, well, this is going to be hard. No, it's not. It's not going to be hard. The hardest part about this is going to be training. Shut the fuck up. Anyone else saying anything else about how this is going to be hard is a goddamn moron. Like, they're stupid and don't deserve to be talking about this kind of thing in the first place. They need to be going on to, like, the production line and doing what they fucking do. That's where they need to be going. If your mind is like, oh, that's going to be hard, then just don't be of importance, I guess, of any type. Things are hard, dude. Get over it. Like, that's how you're... Is it a challenge? Yeah. Like, all these people, like... Here's my biggest problem with recent times, right? All these guys who are like, well, these people actually try hard and stuff like that, and and they have, like, this real sympathy, like, simp thing. It's like, no, you just say, well, that guy tried really hard and nobody listens, so... It happens and it happens. I do give my best when I work, period. Like, I do try my hardest at everything I do when it comes to work. When it comes to streaming, no, because it's not my primary job. Now, if it was, maybe. But it would never be my actual primary job. It might be my primary job while I look for work to do on a contract type basis. But it wouldn't be my primary job. Because I feel like YouTube and streaming in general has its ups and downs. And I get it. I get it. Everything does. I'm not saying it doesn't. But, like, it has some severe up and downs. Like, some of the shit I say on stream, on Twitch and YouTube, can get me kicked off instantly. And not because I want to be edgy or something. No, it's just like the way I talk, the way I do things, the way I express myself. They get really mad about it. Saying words. Shit like that. Shit I don't give a fuck about. Honestly. What the fuck is that? That's a Wingull. I forgot the Wingulls when they land, they have their wings up. That's like folded up like a weird airplane wing or something. I forgot that. It's funny though. But yeah, I mean, life's hard. Get over it. Shit's hard to do sometimes. Get the fuck over it. Just do it. You'll figure it out. It ain't that difficult. Nothing's that difficult. The hardest part about the world is getting money and feeling comfortable with money. It doesn't even matter how much you make. To be honest, I could probably win the lottery tomorrow and still be uncomfortable with the amount of money I have. Like, nah, they're just gonna tax the fuck out of it, which means I'm gonna get that cut in half. Like, I mean a major jackpot, not like some like little shit jackpot. I'm talking about like hundreds of $1 million. You know what I mean? They're gonna take half that shit, so I gotta secure the rest of it and blah, 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 you know, do all that shit. It ain't good, dude. I'd still feel that way, like, and it's not even why I would work, but like people think I work because like I need money. I'm like, that's one of the reasons. The stuff I do right now, yeah, I didn't start out doing that. I started out doing something completely different that made way more money. So, and the reason it changed is because, well, it was my father's company, and my father's company went under in 2008. I had 2 good years of my life. That's what I had. 2 good financial years, I should say that. When I say good, I don't mean, you know, the next step's bad. It's just like, oh, it was an okay year. I didn't overspend myself. I got to save money, you know, things like that. Got to save. I hit the money goal of saving that I wanted to hit. Things that, just small things. You know, something didn't happen that year. Like I didn't have to get my teeth done because I had a fucking impacted fucking, what do you call it, wisdom tooth or something like, you know what I mean? Stupid shit. That happens in life. I didn't, you know, go to the hospital or whatever. I usually don't, by the way. Like, I'm the last person to go to the hospital or even the doctor. It has to be pretty bad. Like, I have to be dealing with something for, something that I've never dealt with before. Like, sprains, I don't give a shit about anymore. Because I know how to deal with them. Because, you know, actually having to deal with a sprain every day. After, I don't even think I went to the doctor the first time because it was such a mild sprain. Like, yeah, my leg was pretty swollen, but it wasn't worth talking about. But after doing, you know, just looking up stuff in medical books on the internet and things like that. When I say the internet, I mean medical books on the internet, not like forums or whatever, or videos on YouTube or whatever. I just took care of it, wrapped it. Well, YouTube wasn't around then, but took care of it, tried to stay off of it until I kept getting those light springs while skateboarding, and I just said, you know, fuck that. I should keep skating. I'll just wrap it and keep skating. And that was the worst idea, because, you know, and those sprains would turn into bigger sprains, and I just kind of dealt with pain back then. I didn't really have, like, a way to give a shit about it. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to laugh because I would just get, like, cut myself at work or something, and be like, ow, fuck, and be over. And I'm like 14. You know what I mean? It's not like it's something that has happened to me before all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that stuff's happened. Like, I get a cut on my hand or something, yeah, I'm not going to freak out as long as it's not super deep. Things like that. Probably wrap it so it doesn't bleed all over everything that I touch. But it's also probably because I did a lot of that stuff when I was, like, little, too. Like, when I was a little kid, I just learned a lot of that stuff because I knew that the stuff that I like to have fun doing was going to hurt. And I have to just learn how to deal with it. Learn how to deal with, 1, the pain. 2, also just, like, deal with the actual, like, cuts and bruises myself. My parents are gonna fucking clean my knee with alcohol and a Band-Aid. And when I hurt myself when I'm, like, fucking 10, they're gonna tell you to go fucking do it. So, it's not because my parents don't care. It's just because you gotta learn how to fucking do that shit yourself. You know what I mean? And this is when I was, like, real little. Like, I would say about, not real little, not like super tiny or anything, like 7. You know, I had this thought. And it was after I crashed my bike and got some gravel stuck in my knee. I didn't know what to do with the gravel in my knee. Like, so my mom was like, my mom and dad was like, oh, we'll pick it out. That sucked, by the way. But, I just had some gravel, like, it was like real fine gravel in my knee. It sucked. like in the cut that my knee had. And I didn't know what to do, obviously, because I'm like a little kid and I don't really think about those things at the time. But I realized then, because of how long it took, because we were sitting there for a while just digging gravel out of my ear with tweezers. I'm not kidding. And it hurt like hell, but it probably wasn't as bad as I think it was. Because, you're a little kid, you don't have any pain tolerance or anything. Just a little fucking kid. And, because, you're not really trying, your parents aren't trying to let you get hurt. You know what I mean? They don't want you hurt because it's going to cause a problem. For not only you, but them as well. Just causing double problems. Causing problems with you, which they don't want because they care about you and they don't want you to have problems. But problems exist, you have to just kind of deal with them as they come. Right? Nobody wants their kids to have problems. It's just, problems are going to exist, there's nothing you can do about it, and you just got to deal with it when it comes. That's all. Right? That's all it is. It's nothing super mean or bad. But then you start realizing as you grow up, your parents either tell you, or you start realizing yourself, like when, after that was done, I realized that I should probably learn how to do, like, that's why during the thing, I started watching my dad and mom help me with it. They were both home that day, I don't know why, usually my dad was not home, because of work. Good reason. He owned his own company. He was always out and about doing estimates and shit. He was home, usually the latest 8 o'clock. So we got to see him for at least a couple hours when we got to be like 5 or whatever. Or whatever age we started going to bed at 10. I don't remember. It wasn't that young. It wasn't that old. Pretty nice sweet spot. I got to hang out with him for an hour when we were real little. And my dad tried. He'd get up early. If there's a job that he could go do really early, he'd go do that and stuff. So we saw him a lot more. But your average busy weeks were a little bit less seeing him. Not that he wasn't around. He'd be home on the weekends. Sunday he usually took off. Just because, that's just how he grew up. It wasn't even because he go to church, even though he is religious. It was mostly just to be around your family, for him. Whether it be extended or not. He just wanted to be around family. One day a week. Doesn't matter which one. He was happy with both. He was happy with one. He was happy with the other. I'm that way. Like, I'd rather spend time either doing what I want to do, something that I want to do, or spend time with family. That's the only thing I want to do. Like, whether it be just my son, my parents, my brother, my aunts and uncles, cousins, stuff like that. I'd rather just do that. Aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff are a little bit harder, because they all live pretty, they're not right around the corner. You know what I mean? My brother's a 20-minute drive from my house. So, my parents are close by, so doesn't really matter, does it? No. So yeah, we just spend a lot of time with family. Yesterday, I went to my brother's yesterday. My brother wasn't there, but my nephews were. My mom was watching because they had a wedding to go to. My dad was gonna go, but he wasn't feeling good, so and that's weird for him. I mean, besides the daily bullshit of being a cancer survivor and being old, he wasn't he felt sick, actually sick. Not his normal bullshit that he has to deal with every day. He felt like he was getting throwing up, about to throw up all the time. I think he did. I don't think it was because he was actually sick. He threw up. I think he just felt like that. So eventually he just did it just to make the feeling go away. But he might have thrown up. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. I have done that. I force myself to throw up when I feel. If I've gone through a day of feeling like I'm gonna throw up and then I don't, I don't know if anyone else has had this experience. Then I don't. I will force myself to throw up. There's no way I'm dealing with this thing, you know, all day again. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things you don't want to deal with all day. One of them is headaches. That's why migraines are so bad. Migraines obviously hurt more than a regular headache, but they just, like, all headaches suck, dude. Like, no one wants to deal with that all day. Like, and I know people deal with it all day sometimes and stuff. Like, I do it all the time for my sinus headaches and stuff like that. But it's not fun. You really hate life the whole time. It doesn't matter the field you're working in either. Like, it's worse with physical labor. But to be honest, I don't know. I remember going sick working physical labor, and not super sick, you know, just like cold or whatever. And it wouldn't make me forget about it, but I wouldn't like think, oh man, I'm sick the whole fucking time. Whereas every time I've had a desk job or a job where you just kind of stand around all day and like sit around all day and like you're doing work, but like you're not really moving around. I tend to focus on it more. Maybe it's just me, but like doing something usually helps the headache not hurt as bad, or the cold not feel as bad, or maybe you ate something and you still have to go to work because you just didn't call out in time. Shit like that. Everyone's dying. Maybe not everyone. I don't know. Bunch of times. And look, I'm not a perfect employee. I don't expect anyone to think I am. I wouldn't be the perfect business owner either. Nobody is. If all business owners were perfect, they'd all be as rich as Bill Gates, or maybe not Bill Gates. They'd definitely be pretty fucking rich. They'd be 100 millionaires in a year or two. Depending upon the industry they're in, obviously. You're not gonna make $100 million doing construction your first year. It just, even if you know everything that you're doing, you know what I mean? It just takes time to get a client base, and it might take you a year to get that client base. Just depends, you know. Unless you just start buying properties and building homes yourself. If you do that, then you're good. You still gotta sell those, you know what I mean, to make any money on them and shit. That's why when I see things like Ryan Homes, like these big builders, like, dude, they just buy land, usually from people who are kind of like out in the middle of the suburb, like right on the edge of the suburb, like a little bit past the edge of the suburbs and of rural area, not rural like country. A lot of cornfields, a lot of cows, a lot of pigs and shit. You know, like where I live, when I moved here, it was like a half and half. Now where I live it's just a suburb. Like, I hate it. Like, there was some suburbs and some subdevelopments nearby, but it wasn't like, you know, right there all the time. But it was also like right outside of like one side. If the reservoir wasn't there, it would probably have been cities or building, like houses or whatever. But like if you go east to west, but if you went on the western side of our town, it's all rural. It still is kind of, but not. You'd have to go a little bit further into the county. There's too many neighborhoods popping up and farmers selling their land because their kids, either they passed and their kids sold it and they don't want to do that, or that's a big problem people aren't realizing. Like, everybody talks about this farming stuff, like most farmers, unless they're, you know, a new generation of farmer, like the first generation farmer, or, you know, first in a while kind of thing, like in a couple generations kind of thing. Most farmers just inherit it from their families, man, because they don't really have the money to buy property, unfortunately. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I can blame a lot of stuff. One thing I will blame the most is those farmer subsidies they get. I get helping farmers out when there's a big problem, like for instance the Dust Bowl or whatever. But like, because that's a national interest. That's not an individual family interest. But now that farming has become so like deemed like that's what stupid people do, even though farmers are probably some of the smartest people you ever meet. They're like a mix between like a fucking vet, I don't know what you would call someone who takes care of plants. They're like all these things combined, and then on top of that, mechanic, fucking electrician, fucking, you know what I mean? Because when they need their shit fixed, they need it fixed now. They can't wait for an electrician to fix. I mean, certain things obviously, like in the house, but in the actual farm, like the real, like the barn and all that shit, they need it done now. Because here's the reality: if it's not done now, it's gonna affect something later on, and it's gonna put him far behind other things he needs to do on a daily basis to begin with. And as someone who, as like really young, helped my family just raise animals for us to eat. It wasn't like a real farm. It was just like, oh, we had a huge vegetable garden. Like, this wasn't like some little garden in the backyard of a townhouse. I'm talking like a giant strip. Because we lived on a lot of property. A giant strip in our backyard that was tilled by my father just so my mom could plant vegetables and whatever else we wanted to plant. Well, vegetables and shit. Food. And, you know, she planted flowers and stuff around the house, things like that. But, yeah. And we had, like, enough land to hunt on. So, like, we had, like, random plots of grain and soybeans and, you know, corn or wheat just to get animals to come. So I do know a little bit about. I'm not, you know, I was never like a real farmer. I took care of a couple cows, some chickens, and a garden, a really large garden. So large, in fact, you could grow a lot of stuff in it because they're really far away from the road. Like a mixture of things that shouldn't be planted together. They kind of are because it's just in the same tilled area. It's just a really big fucking area. So, put the plants that can grow together next to the plants that can grow together, and you put the plants that can't grow together with certain plants on the other side of the goddamn thing. And it's not that hard. It's not hard to do. I'm not saying it's not. It's not hard to figure out. It's just mostly like the actual work is tiring. Tilling. Well, for my dad, it wasn't. It was attractive, but like planting, because you know we didn't have a planter. We weren't planting one thing either, like a monocrop. We were just. Mom was just planting what she liked, what she wanted to grow, what we would eat, things like that. We raised two cows at a time, stuff like that. I do know how to farm. But I do it on a mass scale. Fuck man. If I was a farmer today, one, buying land would be a problem, right? Because land, I had to stay somewhere close to my son. So, like, within at least an hour. You know what I mean? Because I get them on the weekends. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most weekends. Unless, you know, she's doing something with her family or whatever. Or Sorry about that. Some sound issues. We're coming back though. We're coming back. We're coming back. Coming back from that. Anyways, I was talking about some of my, like, I guess childhood. In a sense, not like in the sense of like deep discussion about like some weird shit. It's just how I grew up. And like what I think. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd own a farm. It's exactly what I'd fucking do. I'd be in the middle of nowhere with a farm, a bunch of cows and a bunch of grain and a bunch of vegetables growing. I wouldn't let farm subsidies be like fuck your subsidies and fucking some of the shit myself. Don't care if I go broke doing it. Like, that's how I usually am with shit. Once I had a kid, things changed. How I was with shit. Now I'm at that point again. Like, I'm at that point of I don't give a fuck. I just don't care what anyone has to say. Most people that say shit don't even understand what they're saying half the time. Both in their own career, in their own job, and their, just, like, look, I'm okay with asking for advice on something that I don't know anything about, or haven't done yet, or something, like, I know about it, but I haven't really done it yet, or whatever. You know, that kind of thing. But the reality is that I rather just, but the way people treat you now, when you ask for help, and something that you've never done before, and this is both professionally and personally. Like, I'm not perfect at this. I'm really bad at getting back at people on text. You can ask Dustin. I do try to help him with his computer problems. I know he doesn't know everything. I don't know everything either. I'm not saying he doesn't, or I do, but a lot of the things that I just, like, I have a hard time just communicating with people who aren't in front of me. Except for, like, my son and my other family members. Like, I'll talk to them here and there, about once a month. My brother, my son, I talk to every day, or try to talk to every day. Sometimes things just get busy, and by the time I get around to calling him, he went to bed. And he knows I'm not trying to ditch out on him or I forgot about him. I just was doing stuff, and I had to get shit done. You know what I mean? I wasn't goofing off. He knows that, too, because when I'm skating, like, when he's at his mom's, and I go skate, because I have some free time, I'll call him while I'm skating, like, or taking a short break while skating, or when I'm done skating for the day, I'll call him. Things like that, and, you can only do so much. If I could come home, even now, a lot of my recreation is doing this, and staying up too late, and getting up too early right now. It sucks, but I like doing it. I'm going to start doing the streaming thing a lot more since it is winter, and no one wants to be outside at night, and it's cold, and all that stuff. And, you're just, I'm still physically active during the winter, but not everybody is. I'm not going to force my son to go do something if he doesn't want to go do it, except, like, I'll make him do a base amount of exercise. But, like, I'm not asking him to go out and be cold all day like I used to, because I just don't want to hear the argument about it. Also, it's hard for him right now, because there's a huge problem. Kids don't do anything anymore, at least where we live, and they just sit at the house and play video games all the time. And a lot of his friends are that way, because, they grew up playing video games and stuff. They all had access to them when they were real little. My son's pretty responsible with it. I get mad at him sometimes. I'm like, go the fuck outside. I don't even care if there's nobody there. Go do something. Go have fun. Go enjoy your life. But I was always a little different as a kid. Like, I didn't need my friends around to go have fun. Like, I could just go take a hike in the woods by myself and be fine. I could just go, go skating by myself and I'd be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need other people around me to make me feel better about what I was doing or any of that. I just like doing what I like to do, and that's what I did. You know what I mean? That's just how I think everyone should live life, because I think a lot of the misconceptions and problems people make up is that there's just certain people in this world, me included, and others that like we're just gonna do what we want to do, whether you like it or not. May not be the exact thing we want to do, but we're gonna get as close to it as we possibly can. And when we do, you're gonna be mad about it because it's gonna take up a lot of our time, our effort. We're gonna be tired at the end of the day, just like everyone else. And we're gonna wish that we weren't as tired. We're gonna wish that we spent more time with you guys. Stuff like that. That's another thing people don't realize. Like, that's why I'm just glad, like, I have, like, friends and family that understand. It's really hard for me to want to go to family events when you're not where you want to be in life. But I still go, you know. I mean, I'm not in a horrible position overall. But, I'm going to push myself. I push myself real hard, so. It's one thing to be not close to where you want to be. It's one thing to be close to where you want to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm close, but I'm just not there. You got to make the effort to do so. This probably doesn't help. But I don't care. So we should do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And it's like really, really, really bad too. Like people don't realize like how bad that can be. Not only for yourself, but for relationships and stuff. Like, whether it be friendships, family relationships, or even just like, you know, love interests and stuff. Like, you just gotta let me do what I want to do. As long as I'm not hurting anyone or doing anything completely retarded, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be alright. You're making everything worse than it actually is. That's usually what it is, too. What if we go broke? We're not gonna go broke. What if we do this? We're not gonna do this. Just gotta give me... Just let me do what I want. I might not be the most successful, but I'm gonna succeed at it no matter what. If it takes a couple tries. Right? I know, life is hard and difficult, and you don't really want to put yourself in a difficult position, especially with your loved ones and friend, you know, just all that. You don't want to be doing that, but it's just a part of life, and you just gotta get shit done so you can. Maybe down the line when you guys are sitting around more because you're older than like people or whatever, you know, you sit around and, you know, talk about that kind of shit and like relay it to your children and grandchildren. Look, this is gonna suck, but you just gotta kind of deal with it. Things like that. You know? It's gonna suck. You're just gonna have to deal with it and get better. It'll get better. And like, I'm not perfect at this either. You know, there's times in my life where I was just lazy and didn't feel like doing anything. Hence why I'm fat. And shit like that. Like, I quit skateboarding for a long time. I didn't mountain bike for a long time either. Mountain biking's always been kind of around. Like, I've always been into it. I've always watched mountain bike stuff. I've always looked at mountain bike magazines when magazines were a thing. You know, followed the stats of all the different series of racing, from cross country to downhill and to slopestyle to then enduro when that started being a thing. And yeah, it's just something I follow and I always have followed. Same with skating. I watch skating and stuff even after I quit skating. Like, I watch people skateboard on YouTube. I watched old skate videos that are posted on YouTube by the companies. Or even other people. I didn't care. Well, usually I just wouldn't even look what this... I don't now either. I wouldn't even look at who put it up, because, or like what channel I'm looking at. Because I'm just like, oh, I just want to watch that. You know what I mean? So, you just gotta have a bit, take some time every day to cool off and do something you like to do that's not necessarily work for you. This isn't work for me. It does take work to get it, but this, even if I do make money at this, it's not really work for me. Because I'll always be doing something else. Like, it may not be working where I work now or working for anyone. It might just be me doing my own thing during the day and streaming in the evenings. Or streaming all day and, you know, having like a side hustle or something else. Maybe sold through my streams or... I do have some pretty good ideas for products if people are interested, but it's going to be expensive and I have to develop this stuff eventually. If I was to sell something like online or... And it is gaming related, so it would go with the channel, but I also have other things to sell. That I've had ideas that... I don't know why people aren't doing these. I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, what? Why aren't people doing this? So, like, here's one, and anyone can take this idea because I don't ever plan on doing it, mostly just because I don't want to take the time to that's a lot of work, and I would need a whole company behind me to do that, and like a whole staff of a lot of, frankly, machinists, and it wouldn't be the most profitable thing, you know what I'm saying? So one of my biggest complaints about cars and car restoration and stuff like this, working on cars, is that if you have an older vehicle that's not in production anymore, you'll be lucky to find the correct bolt, right? You have to go get some like weird setup from, you might get the right length, but it's not the same bolt itself, you know what I mean? It's got the same tensile strength, it's got the same of everything that's important, but it's not that bolt, you know what I mean? And for restoration, that is important, like for people who want to restore cars, and even people who just want to have a daily driver, you know what I mean, that is old, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna have to, the reality is, one, you're gonna have to fix a lot of shit, whether before you start driving it or when you start driving it. Like for me, I haven't liked the way the trucks have looked in a long time. There's probably only one or two new trucks I would buy, and that's only because they're sport trucks, and not because they are the type of trucks I usually am into, big ass diesels and shit like that. I don't like the current diesel situation, obviously. No diesel guy does. The whole, if anything, I'd be buying an older diesel in the first place. And yeah, some of them I could get away with, you know, still having, like, not necessarily Dodge or Ford or whoever, not even necessarily manufacturer-made parts, but parts that are made exactly like the manufacturer did it. And when I say that, I don't mean, like parts like a radiator or something. I'm talking about, like, because people do that already. I'm talking about, like, just hardware. Like, hardware. Just regular hardware. No one does that, and it's kind of shocking. I'm surprised there isn't at least a cottage industry of this. Maybe there is, and I'm missing it. I could be completely wrong on that. I don't know. I've never seen it. I've searched everywhere except including eBay, but usually the parts are used. Could you imagine getting a bolt that was made the same exact way, even a little bit better than the 19, and then it, like, it's the same shape, it's the same, it has the same spacings that it needs without using washers, and it's smooth where the spacings are, where they're supposed to be smooth instead of threaded, and things like that. You know how awesome that would be? Because it takes the guesswork out of so much stuff. Like, you break a bolt, dude, on, like, let's say a fucking starter, you're gonna be at Home Depot looking for, you know, a high tensile strength bolt that's good. But you're going to be at Home Depot fucking with the thread thing and all that shit when you could just, people could just produce that. I know this from working on cars. Both somewhat professionally and for myself. Just taking care of my own vehicles and helping friends out with theirs and shit like that. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the number one thing that grinds every car restorer, even just everyone who has a car built. Let's be real, a lot of those bolts and stuff, they exceed manufacturer specs, just so the manufacturers don't get sued. And if you're doing a mild build on like, you know, a little bit of added horsepower, nothing too crazy, you don't need aftermarket anything really. Besides what you like if you like, let's say you tune your car for like a higher ethanol content, you don't really need to change out those bolts. You know what I'm saying? Your horsepower isn't going to jump that much. Your torque isn't going to jump that much. Things, you know, like a mild build. Let's say you have a... So that's a little sporty already. You know, like a Mustang or something. Let's say it's a 90s Mustang. Nothing crazy, just a normal 90s Mustang GT. Forget what V8 was in them. If you know, you can put it in the chat. But they don't make the bolts for that anymore. So you have to go with like... You have to go with more expensive bolts that are like performance bolts, even though you don't really need them, because all you're doing is tuning it for a different gas. You know, maybe getting better spark plugs and spark plug wires. And, I don't know if they are coils, or maybe transferring from coils to, or transferring from, I'm sorry, distributors to coils, things like that, like to ignition coils, things like that. Simple things that are not the easiest to do, but also not like super detrimental to how your engine runs and things like that. Maybe you're getting an aftermarket ECU to fuck with that, to make it work right. Things like that. I think people that mod cars, I'm gonna give kids out there a tip if you're ever gonna mod a car. Go that route. Go the route to make your car better, the best your car can be on whatever gets it the most horsepower on whatever octane fuel or whatever fuel you're using. Obviously, I'm not suggesting using illegal fuels on the street, but like if you're running like maybe you convert it to E85, maybe you make it run on premium gas, you know what I mean, or the best gas that, you know, the companies make, whatever ethanol content or whatever what do you call that? I know the word, I'm just fucking retarded. Whatever the content, the spark, whatever the fuck it is. I'm losing my mind thinking about this. But yeah, like those, they're expensive. Don't get me wrong. Like getting another ECU is expensive, and depending upon the state you live in, you have to tear it out and put in your regular ECU and put all that other shit back on, because it's not gonna pass inspection depending upon where you go and things like that. There's gonna be issues with that. But let's just say you have a newer car that has all the stuff that you really want to do to an engine, and you're just upgrading it a little bit because you paid it off, and you're like, I do want to have this be a little bit sportier. So you're like, I'm gonna get a little bit bigger injectors, tune it out a little bit, maybe get a better fuel pump, things like that. Work on that shit first, because it's the worst. That's the worst shit. Like dealing with like electrical and fueling is the fucking worst, man. Like, one, if draining the gas tank, if you didn't just, you know, let it run out of gas, is a pain in the ass. You gotta fucking pump it out, drain it out, work on, especially if you're working on trucks, because you're usually dropping them, unless you want to cut up your bed, and I'm not cutting off bed for that. So you're gonna drop the gas tank, or lift the bed maybe if you can, if you have the means to do so, and working on that, and you know, it's just a pain. Do all your fuel and electrical first. And while you're running that stuff, you could even run extra electrical wires and stuff that you might need later on. You know, maybe you have a normal Subaru Impreza, not the STI, but you want to make it an STI because, you know, people wreck STIs, and there's probably plenty of motors in the junkyards. And, you know, you have a little bit of older one. You know, it might be a little bit expensive to buy that motor and all that setup, but you want to eventually make it like a STI. People do that all the time. It's fun. It's just a hobby. Stuff like that all the time. It's fun. It's just a hobby. It's no big deal. Let's just say that you want to make, or maybe you have like a weird car, like let's say you have like a Subaru. I don't know. I know they made a turbo model, but let's say you wanted a Subaru, like, Baja that had, like, the SIT setup, or STI setup. That would be actually kind of sick. Not gonna lie. Granted, they had the turbo model, which was kind of like that, but not really. But let's say you got the turbo model, but you want, like, let's say you want a newer engine. I'm not saying their newer engines are better. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Subarus besides I know they blow up a lot because of the way that engine sits. Thermal starvation is a problem with those cars, with those engines, just naturally. If you're gonna pick and you want to pick something a little bit more. Let's say you're picking up something a little bit more out. Let's say you get a Honda Civic, right? But it's like a base model Honda Civic, and you want it and it was really cheap, and you could take all the money that you would have spent on that other Honda Civic. It's the same year, but different like trim package. And you want to max out the trim package just because it's something to fucking do. Because it's just a hobby of learning how to work on cars and stuff. Maybe even completely convert it to that car essentially. Because they're all the same frames. You can just take out everything and just put whatever the fuck you want in it. From the other cars. Honestly. And you want a Type R. Or you have an Integra and you want to make it like an old Integra and you want to make a Type R. Yeah. Fucking do it. Like, that's not even like that complicated. You might need some new wiring harnesses. I doubt it though. You might need some new wiring harnesses. That's the hard work right there. Do the hard stuff first is what I'm saying. Save your money. Do the hard stuff first. You know, if you want to do some real quick mods that they are expensive but aren't as super expensive. For a car or truck, wheels, that makes sense. Don't get ugly ones. Don't get crazy wide ones if you're not making a track car. Don't get crazy big ones for trucks or cars. Get like a moderate forged rim. Maybe the closest you can get to your factory rim. So that's not too much of a... I don't understand the point in... Look, I get the point in buying bigger wheels for cars that didn't have them originally, and you're engineering the car to do something that it originally wasn't going to be doing. Right? Like a regular Honda Civic, whatever model that isn't an R, was never going to be used as a sports car. It was going to be used as an econo box. So, like, yeah, it has that DNA kind of in it, because it's part of the model. But at the same time, it's got, like, the shittier parts. Like, do your suspension, do your suspension, maybe even get that Type R wheels or something, you know what I mean? Or if you want something bigger, get something closer that looks like it. It's a little bit wider. Get the suspension. I'd probably do those two first thing. In any vehicle, if I was going to modify it anyway. Do suspension and wheels and brakes if you have to. Brakes too. I would do brakes too. Stopping is more important than going. You can't die if your car's sitting still. Like from you driving. And you can't hurt anyone else. Someone else can hurt you, yes. But you can't blame it on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, fuck, I fucked up that bad. You know, things like that. At least make yourself feel better. Better brakes are always better. Make sure you get the right ones for the right size of your wheels and all that shit. And, you know, you're good to go, man. With that said, though, after that, I would probably do the harder stuff first. So any electrical work, any engine pulling you have to do, any fuel work you have to do. So if you have to pull the engine, pull it. Do that as soon as possible you can, because if you're just going for like engine parts they're expensive when you get up there, but the reality is to tune your car just to make it a little bit more warrior doesn't take that much. You're not going to get huge horsepower gains. Everybody's always chasing that number, but I'd rather you have fun in your car. Because I'll tell you right now, it's fun to go fast in a slow car. It's scary to go fast in a fast car if you've never done it. It's also cool to go fast in a slow car. It's not too cool to go slow in a fast car. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, whenever I see those pull-ups at those, like those rich people hangouts at, like, clubs and shit, because, you know, you see them, like, scrolling through shit. Something I'm not interested in at all. You see all these exotic, like, fucking, like, sports cars. And they've probably been to the track, like, fucking twice ever. And they've probably never been driven that hard on the road either. Driven hard on the road either. Come on, guys. Like, you know, why'd you buy the car? You know what I'm saying? Maybe if someone that does the track days, you know, like every weekend they can or whatever, because you know there's gonna be some weekends where you can, because you know birthdays, Christmas, holidays, all that shit happen. And you know, they go to the track as much as they can to improve their skills. Maybe they're trying to get to their, you know, a race car scene. Maybe they are building like a legit race car or a time attack thing. You know, it helps to have sponsors and whatnot. I'm sure. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't get sponsored for anything. I have this hard thing of being sponsored. It's kind of hard to want to be sponsored because you're just a mouthpiece for that company at that point. And maybe, and not all companies really care all that often, because most companies, most company sponsors, like, you know, they're not going to be too crazy if you're just honest. You know, like if you don't use the product, you can tell people that it's just a product that, you know, they came to you, stuff like that. Like, I don't think anyone should be sponsored by anything they don't use or haven't used. Like, that would be my first requirement if I was going to get a sponsorship or anything. You need to send me the product. I don't care if I have to pay for it, depending upon the price, obviously. I'm not paying for $100,000 or $1,000 graphics card because you want me to test it for you. I'm not even saying I would get that treatment ever, but I'm just saying, like, if that was the case, it's just a hypothetical. I probably would have a hard time doing it. You gotta have to make my own stuff. And maybe have sponsors. You know, maybe have a sponsor that, you know, where I use their product or I've used it for years before I even, you know, thought, like, I would have had to contact them. You get what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if I was in high school, right? Like right now, I was doing the things that I was doing in high school. And let's say we were making videos of it. It would look more like Jackass, minus the comedy skits. Mostly just be stupid jokes we'd be telling, not really comedy skits. Or stupid scenarios we made up in our head. Things like that. We do that now. Like stupid funny scenarios, like just out of pocket shit. If we did that, let's say we did that. One, I think we would be considered like the new Jackass crew, because like the shit we did. Because, yeah, remember, I grew up there at that time, the new Jackass crew, or at least CKY crew. Because at the time, when I was a kid growing up, especially like in my early high school years, I was watching stuff like Jackass and Viva La Band. It did kind of, it does kind of change you when you see people getting hurt all the time. And not necessarily we did the stuff that they did. Like, we did other stuff. Like, we used to jump off of houses into pools. We used to fucking jump off of cliffs into water. Into, like, rivers or lakes or whatever. Shit like that. We used to skate constantly. Like, I guarantee you, if once I hit about, I'd say 18, and we were making videos, like, we had YouTube and all that. Like, we had YouTube. We did. We just didn't think about this. We should have. We probably could have been rich as fuck for this. Honestly, why are we so fucking stupid? Because we even had 2 cameras at the time. Grant, they were shit, but it would have worked to make a video and put it up on fucking YouTube at the time. Jesus Christ. God damn, we missed so much just because we're like, oh, it's the internet. That's all. That's the reason why. But honestly, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Besides that, but like, I was thinking about this the other day. Me and my friend Dustin and like all our other friends could have got rich as fuck because we would have just been the YouTube version of like CKY or Jackass or whatever, right? It wouldn't have been as skitty. We wouldn't have skits. It'd be mostly skate videos and local live bands playing and like their live music used in our videos and, or not even live music, just their music used in our videos and stuff like that. Because we were friends with people in like actual local bands that were like, you know, doing clubs in Baltimore and shit. And it would have been fun to do, and it might have helped them too. God damn, I could have done so much. Why did we fuck that up? What happened? Like, oh my god. Well, we did lose one friend. He wouldn't be able to do that because he's now mentally handicapped. from a skateboarding accident, but not haha funny, ironic funny. But honestly, we might have been like, I mean, we were nowhere as good. Like, I wasn't as good as Bam Margera or anything. I'm not saying that in skating. I might have been. Maybe it would have pushed me to be as good or better than those people. I don't know. It could have, though, honestly. Man. How did I miss that? Same thing with mountain bike. How the fuck did I miss all this? To be fair, though, I think mountain biking would have been a lot hard because I don't know when the first GoPro came out. And even then, it would have been hard because the first GoPro, fucking, garbage. I'm gonna look that up now that I'm thinking about it. Or whatever. I didn't anything, did I? No, I'm still streaming. Okay. Oh, I could have had a GoPro for mountain biking. 2004? Really? God damn, dude. It's been around that long? I did not fucking know that. Damn, I've been looking at fucking GoPro ads since 2004? Bro. And by ads, I mean like GoPro content and like GoPro like ads on like banner ads and shit like that. You know what I mean? Not like, I don't remember ads on TV for GoPro. Was there ever ads on TV for GoPro? Now I'm confused because I haven't seen commercials in years. Sorry for the voice crack. That was just kind of funny. But I haven't watched commercials in years of any type. Like, even like the creators I follow, I'd rather tip them during a live stream or do they even have super stickers anymore? Because I don't really watch much non-live stream stuff. Most of the time I'm watching like anime or something. Excuse me. Or go buy their merch or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never wear it, but I'll go buy something stupid like a sticker or something. Or even, you know, a t-shirt. Whatever. Whatever they make whatever they make the most money on, really. I'll probably buy either a couple or just, you know, that one. Oh, no, right here. That's just reality, though. Like, that's just how I do things. So yeah, it's not all the YouTube creators that I've watched have been supported by me, but all of the YouTube creators that I go back to have been supported by me in some way, shape, or form. Maybe I buy a piece of merch, or I go do like a free trial for something that I've been wanting to try out, like VPN or whatever, or a new VPN or whatever. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Plus, liking, sharing, subscribing, and or following, or any of that will help any creator, including myself. So you guys should do that. You should do that if you like the content. But yeah, man, the world's very strange now. I keep telling my son this, and he's like, he's been in this world pretty much. The time he was old enough to pay attention, like, he's been stuck in the current kind of shit that's been going on throughout the world for like the past, 10 years. And it sucks for him because he doesn't have like a normal, like, to me, his childhood isn't normal. And it's not because of him or me. And it's not normal, him or me or his mom. I mean, it's not normal in that sense, in my opinion. But, that we're not together. But it also hasn't been normal in the sense, like, nobody goes out, like, the only kids I ever see outside are little kids, honestly. Like, between the ages of, like, 6 and 10. These are the only kids that I ever see outside. Teenagers seem to never be outside. Teenagers and, like, middle schoolers never seem to be outside. And he wants to be outside. He goes outside by himself all the time. He just doesn't do as much as I used to. You know what I mean? Oh my god. Anyways. Still no Shiny Magikarp. But he's getting, he's getting kind of used to me. I'm like, dude, it sucks, but you're kind of like me. I didn't even see that fucking fish. Oh, probably because that glare right there. It's like blinding me. I'm done with you fucks. Like, honestly, I just want to beat the shit out of you all and hope you die. I'm using Thunderbolt because I'm a dickhead. How fast is that Pokemon? I'll tell you right now, my Gyarados is pretty fucking... I mean, it's not the fastest Pokemon in the world, obviously. It ain't slow. I'm just gonna start catching these Magikarp, man. That's really all I got left to do. I've been riding around for so long, man. Just... I'll catch him, maybe you'll get a shiny. I just love this game when it makes two things. Two music sounds. You catch him until I get a shiny. Just do that. Just run into him and catch him until you get a shiny. So much easier. So much easier. Not really, but... You know, it's the easiest. Mass Outbreaks is the easiest. Especially the ones that are shiny. Get away from you, fucking piece of shit. There's another Magikarp. But yeah, man, I mean, I have, like, today I was watching a video and, like, this girl was talking about, this is part of the reason why I don't listen to women, was, like, talking about, like, Nintendo and some of the issues that they have, but everybody seems to be putting it on the Switch 2. Hey, guys, I hate to tell you, but the Switch 2, what did you think it was going to be? This is an honest question. Like, I have no problems with the Switch 2. Everyone I've talked to that actually has it really has no problems with the Switch 2. It's other things that don't even really matter compared to the actual hardware of the Switch 2. I'm going to judge the Switch 2 on two things. One, the software that comes to it, whether it be third party or first. The hardware itself, which is a little different for, you know, for Nintendo, because they're using ARM processors instead of x86, x64 platforms. But, like, what did you actually expect? Like, I actually honestly had this question about this stuff, right? Look at look at just the names there. The Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the better Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, into 64-bit architecture or programming. That's what that was. Plus 3D, you know. Then you have the Wii. I think I don't know what that word means. Like, I don't know if it's like Wii as in we're having fun, or it's like Wii as in because it was very living room couch co-op kind of stuff, right? Like, not everything was, I know that, but like that was what the gearing was for that, honestly, because they were kind of slow to the internet thing and game consoles, internet stuff and all that shit. People forget, man. Like, Nintendo is a different company, but they usually take longer to get to, like, the standards the other companies are making, right? So really, this is a fault of the other companies. One, two, the PS5 isn't much better than the PS4. The Xbox Series X isn't much better than the Xbox One X. Honestly, like, you guys, like, everybody making a big deal out of fucking ray tracing. Dude, ray tracing has existed forever. Okay? It just wasn't hardware driven. Who gives a shit? Like, it's nice. It's a nice feature. Cool. But, like, is that really the core of games for you? Like, it's just the way it looks? It's a part of it. Don't get me wrong. I think this game doesn't look that great. I've said that from the beginning. It obviously doesn't run that great because they underclocked the fuck out of this processor. I don't even want to know what they did to the Switch 2. I'm hoping they didn't underclock it. Honestly, I really am. Because that processor seems the base processor seems way better than, a way better choice than the Tegra that they have now. Yeah, I expected it to be a better Switch. That's what I expected it to be. And it is. It is. It plays games better. There's other problems though, like I said, with the Nintendo. Paying $60 for a remake. The virtual consoles get love, but not really as much as you think it should. Because you're paying for a subscription on that shit. Not having, in this generation, this current generation of the Switch 2, not having the DS available, virtual console available. I mean, there's things with Pokemon that piss me off. I know Nintendo has some decision making in that, but Niantic probably isn't, or not Niantic, Game Freak probably isn't helping with that either. They've always been a smaller team, so I'll give them respect for on that front. But the reality is that they're not doing too well with Pokemon games, and I don't think they have since really Gen 5, if you want my honest opinion. I know, like, selling is a thing, and, like, how much you sell, but I'm talking about true fan, Pokemon fan, game fan anyways, at least a game. I don't really count the anime or the card game as anything besides its own separate thing. But Game Freak, they do need a lot of work. If they want my honest opinion, they would probably go with my grand idea of making an MMO. But to be honest, they probably wouldn't even really have to do that to make Pokemon fans happy again. Like, honestly. Simple shit, man. It's gonna be simple as shit. I get for some games you can't do it for all games, but the main series games where there's 2 versions and you're a Pokemon trainer being all the gyms, you know, the stuff that you see in Red and Blue and Yellow, Scarlet, Violet and Crystal, Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire, Black and White, or Diamond and Pearl, the remakes of Gen 1, the remakes of Gen 2, Diamond and Black and White, and Black and White 2. X and Y. Though I think that should have had a 3rd game. The Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon and Let's Go Pikachu. I won't even count that one. Gen 8, Gen 9. It's nice to have other games too. I'm not saying that it isn't. But those ones I expect very little from. I expect a newer experience of what I used to like when I started playing the game. Right? That's what I'm looking for out of this game. I'm not looking for anything else. The remakes of Gen 3. Forgot about those. Those style of games they have. They should keep making them that way. And just add a national dex. Make sure it runs great on the hardware that's being released on. Maybe not nickel and dime us for DLC right away like you did with ZA. Maybe focus on getting the games really well done. Maybe do some more A/B testing or product testing of some sort. I don't know what you're gonna do because I know I don't know what the things in the, you know, how they do it because it's Japanese. It's completely different than what we would do. I'm sure they have American markets test stuff out too, but I'm just thinking of the, you know, it's a Japanese company. They're gonna focus more on Japan than anything. I don't know the trends and stuff over there. But if they're following the same trends as like Western companies, I hate to tell you guys, don't. One, I haven't liked a new series since, what year did that come out? So I probably haven't been excited for a video game release since 2016. Honestly, you know. And I'll tell you why. All the Western devs that I did like, and even non-Western devs, most of them Western devs though, let me down way too many times. 343, this new Halo studio apparently. I used to be a huge Halo fan. Used to be a huge Forza fan. I don't like Forza Horizon 5 at all. I hate it. I think it's a downgrade. I think every game's been a downgrade since 3. I think 4 had some upgrades, but they weren't good enough for the glaring issues of the game. And 5 was a letdown for me. I even go back to it when new DLC and stuff comes back out, but I haven't even finished the last DLC for it, and I just don't like it anymore. And I used to love that game. I used to love that series. Because it was like a weird mix between like a simulator and like an arcadey. I mean, it's more arcadey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's close to a simulator. I'm saying you had the options more like a simulator and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the tuning options and all that kind of stuff, more like a simulator than you did with a lot of the arcade racers of the time. Some had more in-depth stuff, some didn't, just depending on what game you're playing, but I wanted a little bit more in-depth. I just didn't want a full-on sim, essentially, right? And I want it to be kind of like that arcadey style where it's like, you're in the fucking street. You know what I mean? They're using streets and dirt roads and dirt trails for the course. Not necessarily real, but in a realistic location. Realistic type location. It had to be a real location. Just a realistic type of location. Fuck you, man. I hate this. Why can't there be a mass outbreak of fucking Magikarp, honestly? I fucking hate all of you, honestly. I'm done catching. I'm just gonna kill everything, honestly. But no, not really. Yeah, one of my biggest problems with gaming today is that the game's disappointing me. The last game that I was excited for was The Division. That was the last game I was excited for. I like Tom Clancy games. I like that idea of like sleeper cell agents that are here to save America when America needs it. Even though in the reality they're not really saving America. They're trying to, but it's not going to work because it's honestly too many people. Like, that's just a thing. Here we go. Hey, you can see that little fishy, little bugger. Anyways, but like, yeah, there's just been a lot of weird shit that I don't like about gaming nowadays. Everything, especially now, like, it's worse than it was before. All the major companies over-deliver, underperform in like big ways. It's not like it's like small, tiny ways. One of the big ones that I still bought the game, but I probably shouldn't have, was fucking Cuphead. They showed that at the launch. Not the launch. The announcement of the Xbox One, and we didn't get it till like forever. Like for fucking ever. Like, that's one thing. You know, don't show me games that are, what was it, 5 years or some shit? 4 years out to date? Like, nah, dude, show me when it's closer. I get you're a small indie dev. I get that your whole idea is pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, I'm not looking to be hired here. I'm not looking to have you recruit me. I don't need that. I need you to show me a almost finished product. Because, you know, you got time before it releases or whatever. And that's what I want. Like, I want to see almost finished products. Not finished because, you know, they're going to be working up until day one anyways, no matter what day one of release anyways, no matter how good your team is, it's just the way it is. It's everything. That's like everything. Like builders get just as busy, or they're just as busy when they start a job and when they finish the job. It's just different things, like cleaning up your bullshit and, you know, stuff like that. It's just a different thing. You're not building. You're cleaning up your mess. You're making sure you're going back everything over and over and over again to make sure you didn't miss something, to make sure you didn't, like, there's a lot that goes into this. This is the way you should be acting. Doesn't matter who you're working for or what you're doing, because that's just the way the world works. Like, you gotta make sure your shit's on lock. That way you can't get blamed for shit. You get fired for shit unless it's like money issues with the company. You know what I'm saying? It's not rocket science, guys. Following the world isn't that hard. It's the fact that the world doesn't like it when you're like, hey, either take it or leave it. They don't like that. No, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It could be, I'm gonna have to ditch out on the Magikarp. Anyways, it could be anything from just being like, you know, a grocery store stocker to the company owner. Like, you should be worried about this stuff. One, it makes you look good if you do. Two, your boss can't bitch at you about it. I remember one time, we were doing this job like a long time ago, and it required the trucks being on the lawn. And we asked the dude, hey, is it okay if we use the trucks on the lawn? He said yes. And then his wife didn't want that, which has nothing to do with who we asked. And she called, I guess without him knowing, or even if he did know, it doesn't matter. She's going to do it anyways, you know what I'm saying? That we left quote-unquote ruts in the yard. They were just indentations to where the wheels were. They weren't even like ruts. It was just a really soft piece of ground because it had been raining this whole time, like the whole time we were there. Like it wasn't like an actual rut. It's just that piece of ground was sunken when she went to go look at the fucking shimmy. Anyways, that's really all it was. So she raged on, you know, the owner of that company, like, for no reason. So because her husband said it was okay. We would have used wheelbarrows and stuff, but she probably would have complained about that too, because we probably would have tore up the grass doing that, honestly. Because walking back and forth with a bunch of wheelbarrows full of fucking broken chimney isn't gonna do anything good for your grass when it's super wet out. And that's just one of those things when you start, you know, having other people work on your house, you've just got to understand that's just going to happen. You're going to have to just deal with it. Not, you know, blame the company for something that was completely avoidable because, you know, your husband said it was okay, but you didn't, you don't like that. Maybe talk to your husband. You know, like, it's not rocket science on anyone's part. It's just customers always seem to think they're right when they usually aren't. And, you know, but when you give them the decision to do whatever you want them to do, whatever you need to do, or whatever you want them to decide, it's on them, man. You know what I mean? It's not on us. Even if the wife disagreed with the thing that her husband said was okay, you're just gonna have to like deal with that as a customer. Honestly, you got into that relationship for a reason. If you didn't trust him, then you shouldn't have fucking married him. And little indentations from just the weight of vehicles moving over it. Not killing grass, not actually digging into the ground with your tires, just little indentations because, you know, it happened to be a little bit wetter that week, isn't one of those things I would say you should be bitching about, honestly, as an adult. There's lots of things to bitch about. That isn't one of them. Now, I'm not saying not to care about your yard. Don't let construction companies come up in there and just tear it up because they're there. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, you know, any person who drives a pickup truck on the daily or has driven pickup trucks for a long time should know how to drive on grass without tearing it up, whether it's wet or not. As long as they don't get stuck, there shouldn't be any ruts whatsoever. And I do it all the time. I've done it a bunch of times my whole entire life. It ain't hard, guys. You just don't hit the gas hard when you do it. You go slow. Now, when you're stuck, that's a different story, like your tire sunk into the ground or whatever. At that point, though, that's a dumb decision on you. I've been stuck before and torn up lawn or grass in parking areas of certain areas because, you know, not highly visited, but very serene. And the grass was a little wet or a little soggy, and, you know, but that's not going to destroy that area. It might look ugly for a little bit, but it's not going to do anything to the area. It's not going to hurt the plant life or the wildlife, just the stuff that you hurt while you were there. Which sucks. Don't get me wrong, I don't ever want to leave ruts somewhere. Sometimes you park on a piece of land that you didn't realize was so fucking soft. It happens. That's why now, if I park, it's instantly, like, even before I turn off the truck, I'll get out and stand on, like, in a situation like that, I'll get up and go stand in the grass to make sure it's not, like, soggy and, like, my truck's gonna sink in or I'm gonna get, you know, stuck in, like, a rut, make ruts. You do adjust. It's called being an adult, being respectful. Alright, that is a national park site, and the gravel is there, it's just not well kept, let's say. Not national park, but a state park. Not somewhere where you're not supposed to park. There's signs and stuff all the time. And, you know, trail maps and all that. It's just a very infrequently used spot. That's all. To park. Which makes sense, because it's partial gravel, covered in grass. Was dirt when I was a kid. They added gravel later on. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. Not perfect. Was never gonna be. That kind of shit. Honestly. I find it funny that shit happens. You know? You're gonna mess up a little bit every once in a while. Make it into a place where it doesn't matter. And, you know, the grass would grow back. I didn't make deep-ass fucking ruts. They weren't as tall as my axles or anything. It was not really even getting stuck. It's that I had to put it in four-wheel drive. It was in two-wheel drive, so... to get out, because... you just sunk into the ground. It was soggy there. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes you're in a rush. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just... to mess up because you didn't check the ground before leaving. Fuck that up, that's okay. Still not. Dude, go away. Like, honestly, I can't stand these fucking air coolers. They're annoying. I don't even like the Pokemon. I never use it, don't want to use it, not even interested. I catch it in its evolved form, and that's all I do. There's 1.5 million Pokemon that I can use that are way cooler than that Pokemon. Though that Pokemon may be cool, it isn't as cool as, like, half the Pokemon that existed before it. Over half. That was a Gen 8 Pokemon, I think. If I remember correctly. Maybe earlier, I don't remember. It's been a while since I thought about it. But you know how it is. It's right in front of you. Kill it. Unless it's like unless it's shiny, and then don't kill it. Pretty simplistic shit there, bro. Fuck, I wasn't trying to beat the window. But it did it anyways. Got lucky with that, I guess. Just decimating Magikarp to get a gold one. I did trade for one to have a backup just in case, but I do want one on my own. That's why I'm here doing this. I don't even know if my sandwich is still going. Nope. Fuck you, you worthless prick. Just kidding. But man, people really need to think. And people don't. I'm gonna be honest, like most people I talk to on a daily basis don't actually think about anything of like value. Not everyone, but there's a lot of people out there, man, that you probably talk to that you don't even realize they're not thinking that hard about stuff when they do stuff. When they do stuff. I'm not talking about like things that, you know, that have nothing to do with them. I'm talking about like things that they do. Don't tell me the game froze. And why would it freeze? The Switch isn't abnormally warm. Fuck this game, yeah. Pretty much just starting over again. I didn't save that whole time because I didn't have to. I didn't do anything. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. Who really knows, right? Right. Time is it? 2 hours already? Damn. I need to go get in the shower and go to bed. I know I was one late, but it's been 2 hours. I'll be streaming the rest of this week too. Don't feel too bad about it. Save where I logged on the internet. Was that after or before I ate the sandwich? It was before. Okay. I know. Maybe give you a Magikarp spawn. That would be cool. I'm not saying it did, but have I ever been out there? Probably not. I probably have. I've explored a lot of this map on Scarlet. Violet, not really, but it's the same map, just a couple little differences. I was thinking about that, like as I was looking at the map, maybe, just maybe, I haven't visited everywhere. And then I'm like looking, I'm like, I think I've been everywhere. Is there anywhere else for me to go? But yeah. I want to make a sandwich. Which I was about to do anyways, but it's rice. It's just rice. Why? I don't know. This is the most carb-heavy sandwich I've ever seen in my entire life. Bread and rice with cream cheese. Nice. Probably not good for you, though. But to be fair, these are whole ingredients, so like, it ain't that bad for you. I mean, except for the cream cheese, I guess. Almost fell off. Crazy. I saved it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. That plate up there is spurging. But yeah, we're gonna be streaming Legends ZA night the 12 o'clock, the day of its release. We're gonna be playing it. We're gonna be having fun. We're gonna be enjoying the stream. We're gonna try to enjoy the game as much as I am very disappointed in what I've been shown. I am gonna try to enjoy the game. Am I still gonna have those same problems? Most likely, because I have the same problems with this game. So, my biggest problem with the game before I bought it, right, was that people were complaining about the performance issues and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it anyways, whether I want to or not. Like, honestly, and play the game because I want all the Pokemon. This is what I was working towards. That I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna play. And you know what? The game wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Do I have my complaints? Of course. But that's every game. I don't know a perfect game. Never seen a perfect game. I never will see a perfect game. Honestly. But, you know, as long as it gives me relatively the same experience that I had as a kid, trying to, you know, just catching Pokemon, battling trainers, which, that is another one of my complaints, by the way. I know there's a lot of trainers in this game, right? I know that. Here's the problem. I'm not going into bumfuck nowhere for any reason when I'm going through the main story. So, you need to put them on the roads or near the roads that exist. You can't have them up on top of a mountain somewhere where the main story, none of it gets you near that. Okay? That just isn't the way it works, man. It's just bad design. I'm not saying all the trainers have to be at the road. I'm not saying you can't have trainers out in the middle of nowhere. But you gotta add more trainers near the roads. For if you're gonna do another open world. End of discussion. Anyone want to argue about it, you can. But you can't have this giant open world and expect everyone to go look for every trainer. That's fucking diabolical, and it's faster, and because you've implemented auto battling for wild Pokemon, it is faster for you to auto battle in a high level area to rank up than it is to find all of the trainers in those said areas. Depending upon how much leveling you have to do. If you're going from 0, it's gonna take a little bit longer. But, like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go look, when I'm in the main story, I'm not gonna be in South Province Area 5 and look for every fucking trainer that's out there. I'm gonna walk on the road, probably, or whatever the roads are, wherever they're at. I gotta look, I haven't realized. But, like, I'm not gonna walk to fucking Timbuktu to fucking battle a trainer. I'm just trying to get the main story done so I can do the fun things in Pokemon. Because let's be real, most of the fun things in Pokemon have nothing to do with the main story. It's always the post game. It's always the other stuff. Now, I do like some of the stuff in the main story for this, actually, which actually I gave it a plus for. One was, you were battling Titan Pokemon in Team Star. Team Star is just another Team Rocket, even though it's a dumber Team Rocket and no one likes them, just like everybody misses Team Rocket. Actually, I don't even care if it's Team Rocket. It can be any other team that's just like Team Rocket, Team Magma, or Team Plasma, or Team, what you call it? Magma, Plasma. What was the ocean one called? The blue. What the fuck are they called? I don't remember. Those teams, and even Team Flare, like, they were bad guys. Like, people forget that. All the other, who were the bad guys in Gen 2? I don't remember. But like Gen 8, it's like, oh, it's a bunch of these soccer hooligan types. I get the reason they did that. It makes sense the reason they did it. It's just like, you can't have like a Bond villain. And you say, well, the main villain is kind of like a Bond villain. It's like, yeah, but like, I mean, like, Bond henchmen or something? Like, come on, guys. Like, come on. Also, you were friendly with the villain the whole time, except for towards the end. Like it. I'm not saying you have to be super mean, but like, show some like resistance there, man. Like my answer shouldn't be yes or no. It should be we probably shouldn't do that. Things like that. But then again, it's you're playing as a kid in the game, so I guess they probably don't give a shit what kid has to say. Honestly. At the same time, though, you put these kids in danger. Like, not necessarily that villain. Like, you literally, when they're 10, they can go be a fucking free roaming Pokemon trainer that catches Pokemon that can literally kill them. Like, even in the anime, they say their Pokemon are dangerous. Like, not just in like a cartoon. Like, you can die. Like, there's times where Ash dies. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they need some comic relief in a story about walking to different towns. That's what it is, right? A hero's journey of walking to different towns and doing that kind of stuff. So, if it was a samurai film, he'd be fighting off bandits or other samurai or samurais instead of a Pokemon trainer. And that's how it would go. I mean, it's a pretty easy, it's a pretty simple concept to understand, the hero's journey, of some type. Now, you aren't a hero in the sense of like, I guess in this game, you really aren't the hero in that sense at all. Like, you're not a hero in the sense of like saving the world. Every other game was though, or saving the region or whatever, you know. Not so much with Team Rocket either, because it's like, you know, normal bad guy shit. You know, nothing too drastic or we're stealing Pokemon and using it for bad stuff. That's literally all it is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's stupid, and they shouldn't do that, but it's evil. And then Giovanni did have some world domination. It was more like being the king of the world, not in the sense of, like, destroying the world. Though, the other ones are exactly that. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to destroy the world and start anew, which is awesome. I think it's fucking epic. We should have more of that. This one was like, save the kids from themselves from being bullies. Team Star. And it's like, dude, I don't give a fuck about these guys. Like, they're bullied because they're fucking dressing weird, bro. They're not bullied because they're bad at something. Like, honestly, like, all their stupid reasonings were like, oh, I was really good at this thing, and it was outcasted or whatever. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You're just a fucking noob. Shut up. You haven't even finished Pokemon school. Like, come on. Cut me a fucking break here, bro. Stop whining about being unliked. Worry about being a good person, not unliked. Revenge is the best just served cold. Meaning, the best way to get your revenge is to actually be better as not only a person, but whatever you're doing. Like, I remember one day, I'll give you a prime example of this. Andy Anderson, I don't know if it's true or not, I'm just assuming it is, because I don't see why he would lie about it. He was a young kid in the skate scene, and he got a sponsorship for freestyle. Or he got a sponsorship. I don't know if he was doing freestyle then. But he probably was, but to a lesser extent, I guess. He was doing a little bit of everything. So, this kid, this is the story he tells. A professional skateboarder, you know, he's younger. I forget how, he's like in his mid-20s now, I think. But I think when this interview was conducted, he was a little bit younger. So he literally vowed off the current skating that he was doing and quit the team that he was on. And, which was, you know, a local skate shop team, nothing of importance. It's not like he was like on like fucking element or something. Why'd you do that? I knew you should do that. You know, he was talking about it, like some older kid made fun of him or whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm not him. But if it did happen, I can see why. It just drove him to make him better. Not only is he better than most, I'm not gonna say all, because I'm sure there's better people than most people who do freestyle skating. But he's better than most people who do street style skating and vert style skating and transition style skating. Like, he's like, I explain him as like all-terrain, like in the skateboard. Like, that's what he is. He does the crazy Rodney Mullen shit, and also does like the cool ass bull riding and the cool ass like. I mean, he's never gonna be doing like giant stair sets and shit like that. But like, not every skater does that anyways. Even the really good ones, like, they don't usually do giant stair sets. Let's be honest. The guys who are doing giant stair sets, they're a different kind of greatness. And they'll be lucky if their body holds up long enough for them to finish our life. Okay? That shit is insane. I used to do shit like this. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for, you know, like, anything. Just find the sickest rail set on a stair set and grind it. Find the biggest stair set you can fucking ollie. And then maybe do another trick down if you can ollie it. Find another stair set or find a gap that's huge, or is a giant drop, or a little bit of both, or is both wide and long, but it's a drop, or deep, and because it's a drop, it's okay. You know, stuff like that. That's the stuff I used to do. Street skating is what I grew up on. Street skating is what I like to do. The problem is I'm not doing those giant gaps anymore. I'll be lucky to be doing 5 sets by the time I get back to doing rails. So, there's some good ass rails around here too. I know, because I used to skate them. But not just here. I mean, I'll do rails around and stuff at parks or whatever. It's not a big deal. Wedges and shit like that at parks. They're not super crazy. In most cases. There's some out there that are crazy, but they're not super crazy. They're alright. They're not gonna, you know, little drops and gaps and stair sets. Actually, I think the stair set at ours is too big for where it is. I think what they should have done is put it in the middle, somewhere, because there's a big open empty spot. They just put a flat rail in, which is good for that. Don't get me wrong, it's good for that, but it probably would have been better served if there was a stair set there too. But then again, I don't know how big they were trying to make it. That's the other thing you gotta remember, you know, you don't know how big they're trying to make something. Alright, well, I'm gonna call it a night, because no Shiny Magikarp. But like I said, I have one in home as backup for ZA if I need it. I will continue looking for it, though, all week this week, so get ready for that. I'm gonna get ready for bed, take a shower, and go to sleep. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.